A simple cleaner taught dragons. Then the mother dragon shared a secret that shook him. Beginning. Adrian Cole never dreamed his life would take him beyond the polished corridors of the Stellar Academy of Xenoscience. He was a scientist, not a researcher, not one of the ambitious minds racing to understand the universe. He was a cleaner, a janitor. His job was simple. Sweep the labs, scrub the glass tanks, sanitize the training halls. For years, he mopped floors where brilliant people made breakthroughs, where they studied alien species brought from distant worlds. He knew their names, but remained invisible to them. To most, he was just the guy with the mop. But Adrian listened as he pushed his cleaning cart. He overheard conversations about DNA splicing, telepathic fields, ancient species older than mankind. He pieced together more than anyone thought he noticed. And most of all, he noticed them. The dragons. The Academy called them Zytherians, a newly discovered alien species resembling the mythical beasts of Earth legend. Massive, scaled, with wings that folded against their sides, they were captured as hatchlings from a ruined world orbiting a dying star. There were only 6, placed in containment pens deep beneath the Academy's central dome. To Adrian, they were not research subjects. They were children. When he worked the late shifts, the scientists gone, the labs quiet, Adrian would stand by their pens. At first, the dragons hissed and spat, afraid of every human. But he kept talking. He told them stories of the earth sky, of music, of the rivers near his hometown. He even whistled lullabies while he cleaned. The dragons began to calm when he was near. One, larger than the rest, always kept her glowing golden eyes fixed on him. The mother, he realized. The scientists thought all 6 were siblings, but Adrian knew by instinct. This one was their protector. He began calling her Serena. It was during one of those late nights, mop in hand, that Adrian first realized something extraordinary. They understood him. When he dropped the bucket and cursed under his breath, the youngest dragon mimicked the sound, almost like a child trying to repeat a word. Another tilted its head, watching his mouth move. That night, Adrian tried something. He pointed to himself. Adrian. He pointed at the young dragon. You. The hatchling chirped, a strange warbling sound, but it was an answer. Cernia's eyes blazed with quiet recognition. From then on, Adrian began to teach. Middle. At first, he taught them simple words, using pictures he found in discarded notebooks. He drew suns, trees, stars, and pointed, naming each. The hatchlings copied the sounds awkwardly. Their voices were deep, reverberating, but they learned quickly. Within months, the young dragons could form crude sentences. Adrian friend. More story. Want fly. Adrian marveled at their intelligence. He remembered overhearing the scientists say the Zytherians were dangerous but limited, more instinct than thought. He knew they were wrong. But he kept his teaching secret. If the Academy discovered what he was doing, the dragons would be taken away, maybe destroyed. So, he played the fool during the day, the humble cleaner. At night, he became their teacher. Serena, however, never spoke, at least not aloud. She only watched, her eyes burning into him like molten suns. Adrian suspected she understood far more than she let on. One night, as he was telling him a story about Earth's oceans, Serena finally moved. She lowered her head until her snout nearly touched the glass barrier. Then he heard it, not with his ears, but inside his mind. You teach my children. Adrian froze, mop halfway to the floor. The voice was not human. It was deeper, older, a resonance that seemed to echo from the marrow of his bones. He swallowed hard. You can talk. Long before your kind walked upright, my kind spoke through thought and flame. Adrian's heart hammered. All this time, she had been listening, waiting. He whispered, afraid the cameras might pick up his voice. Why haven't you spoken before? Her massive eyes softened. Because men with white coats and sharp tools are not safe. But you are different. You clean. You care. You are small, but you protect. Adrian laughed nervously. I'm not much a protector. You protect their minds. You give them hope. For a moment, the cleaner who spent his life overlooked felt something he never had before. Importance. From then on, their conversations deepened. Serena told him fragments of her past. How her people once ruled skies across galaxies. How war and betrayal had burned their homeworld. She spoke of their exodus, their dying star, their capture by humans. One night, however, she told him something that chilled him. We are not beasts. We are not animals. We are guardians. And there are others coming. Adrian frowned. Others. Hunters. They followed the signal. They know my children live. They will come to finish what began when your kind stole us. His mop clattered to the floor. Aliens are coming here? To Earth. Serena's mind voice was grim. Yes, and only my children can stop them. But they are weak, caged, untrained. They need you. Me? Adrian laughed bitterly. I'm a janitor. I don't know how to train warriors. You taught them words. You gave them thought. That is more powerful than claws or fire. Teach them courage. Teach them choice. That is how they will win. Adrian sat down heavily on his bucket. The absurdity of it all nearly broke him. A simple cleaner, being asked to prepare dragons to save the world. But when the hatchlings pressed their faces to the glass, chirping softly, Adrian teach, Adrian help, he knew he couldn't walk away. The secret revealed. Weeks passed in a blur. Adrian intensified their lessons. He taught them not just language, but stories of human courage, of explorers, inventors, dreamers. He drew pictures of ships and battlefields, teaching strategy through chalk outlines on the floor. The dragons absorbed everything eagerly. Meanwhile, Serenia shared more of her kind's abilities. The Zytherians weren't just beasts of fire and flight. They could shape energy, manipulate fields of gravity, and even heal with their breath. But Serenia withheld something, a heaviness in her eyes whenever Adrian asked about her past. Finally, one night, she told him, I am not only their mother, I am their queen. Adrian blinked. Queen, the last of the Zytherian matriarchs. My children are not merely survivors. They are heirs. If they live, my people may live again. If they die, all that we are will vanish in the stars. Adrian's breath caught. Suddenly, it all made sense. The hunters, the secrecy, the desperation. The dragons weren't just rare creatures. They were the remnants of an empire older than humanity. He whispered, then the scientists, if they knew, they would dissect us faster. Adrian felt the floor tilt beneath him. He had been teaching, protecting, without realizing the true weight of what he carried. Humanity was holding not just alien animals, but royal blood, the last of civilization. Serenia's voice softened. That is why I chose you, Adrian. Not because you are strong, because you are small, overlooked. No one suspects you. And that is why you can save us. Ending. The day the hunters came, Earth wasn't ready. The skies above the Stellar Academy darkened as enormous ships appeared, blotting out the sun. Sirens wailed across the campus. Scientists scrambled. Soldiers rushed to their posts, but they were powerless against technology centuries ahead of their own. Deep underground, Adrian stood before the dragon pens, his mop long abandoned. The young dragons pressed against the glass. Frightened. Adrian scared. One of them whispered. He forced a smile. Me too. But remember what I taught you. Fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means fight smart. Serenia's voice boomed in his mind. It is time. Open their cages. Adrian hesitated. If he released them, he would be branded a traitor. But if he didn't, Earth would burn. Hands trembling, he entered the override codes he had memorized during countless cleaning shifts. The barriers dropped. The dragons stretched their wings, filling the chamber with a rush of air. Go, Adrian whispered. Show them who you are. The hatchling surged upward, guided by Serenia, who unfurled her wings with regal power. For the first time in millennia, a Zytherian queen led her brood into battle. The fight that followed became legend. Dragons of flame and light tore through the alien invaders, their roar shaking the heavens. Humanity watched in awe as creatures they had caged became their saviors. When it was over, the skies cleared. The hunters were gone. Earth was safe, but the Academy wasn't celebrating. To them, Adrian was a man who unleashed dangerous aliens. He would have been imprisoned, if not for Serenia. She landed before the Academy gates, her colossal form towering over soldiers. Her voice filled every mind present. This man is not your cleaner. He is our teacher. He is the reason you live. Remember his name. And then, with a sweep of her wings, Serenia and her children vanished into the stars, seeking the remnants of their people. Adrian was left standing in the ruins, mop in hand, no longer invisible. The world knew him now, not as a janitor, but as the man who taught dragons. At night, when the stars glittered above, Adrian would sometimes hear a faint whisper in his thoughts. We will return. And when we do, teacher, you will guide us again. He smiled, eyes wet with quiet pride. For the first time in his life, Adrian Cole believed he was more than just a simple cleaner. He was a guardian of a secret that had shaken the universe itself.